Claude Monet painted lots of water lilies. As you can see, Claude Monet had lots of little colors and short brushstrokes to mimic the colors in his Japanese water garden. I hope as you look through some of these paintings, it inspires you as you create your own spring lily pad painting as well. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, as you get your piece of tag board, I lightly drew out a basic guide or line that I could follow that reminded me of a pond. Remember, as you looked at some of those paintings, when you think about a pond or where water lilies would be, you might think of this organic blob-like shape. And let's take a moment and put your name on it too. I love that the tag board's nice and thick when I start placing on my paints as well as other supplies for this project. So you'll notice when I grab my paints, I'm trying to create a mixture. I never washed my brush, but when I have my colors placed on, I'm just letting my colors mix and blend. If it looks too dark, add a little white. If it looks like it's got too much of a color that you don't want, just place another color on top. And so I never washed my brush, but instead let those colors mix and blend onto the page and create this painted colored look. Now set that aside so we can get started working on the lily pads. When you get your pieces of paper, I grabbed two green sheets, a light green and a regular green sheet of paper. You choose the colors of green that you want. And when I started thinking about making lily pad shapes, it almost reminded me kind of like the shape of Pac-Man. It's almost like an oval or a circle with a nice big cut out of it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut both pieces of paper at the same time, just to kind of save me some effort and work. Instead of drawing 6, I only had to draw 3, and it's allowing me to use these pieces of paper and get this work done. So now that I've got it cut, let's go ahead and grab some oil pastels and add a little bit more value and color changing so that it's not just one solid plain color of green, but instead the colors start to mix and blend and it just becomes more visually interesting. So rather than having a solid piece of green, grab some oil pastels, maybe a light green, a dark green, a white, and a black, and create some values or some changes into your lily pads with these oil pastels. Okay, super fun. Now that I've got the background part of my lily pads, I also took some tissue paper and started cutting out some circles. Again, just like the construction paper, you can take the circles, you can create some different textures and some different forms with your tissue paper and a bottle of glue. You'll also notice that I took my tissue papers and I stacked them. So instead of cutting out just one circle, I'm trying to maximize my time by placing 2 or 3 together and cutting out a circle. Feel free to draw the circle before you cut. And also another tip, use the side or the corner of the tissue paper rather than the center. You can use this tissue paper for more than one lily pad. Use up as much as you can on one piece of paper, one piece of tissue. So you'll notice that I always tried cutting from the side so that I could reuse the rest of the, you'll see me using it again, the same piece of tissue paper used more than one time. It's just going to maximize the amount of decorations that you can put onto your lily pads and making them really look like real lily pads or three-dimensional objects by the different materials that I'm using, and the different colors kind of make it fun to look at too. I thought this one needed a little bit more color, so I'm just going to go ahead and add that in before it dries. There we go, look at that. Let's go ahead and move into my model magic. Mrs. Foxton's going to give you some model magic, and I want you to create any kind of object or item that you would like to place into your project. Happy creating, happy art making. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.